have another, but I probably should not. I got somebody at home, and if I stay, I might not leave alone. No, honey, I'm good.
Our program will be starting in 5 minutes. We would like to remind you to please ensure that all electronic devices have been turned to off or silent. Thank you for your cooperation. Once again, we will be starting in 5 minutes.
So no, honey, I'm good. I can have another, but I probably should not. I got somebody at home, and if I stay, I might not leave alone. No, honey, I'm good. I can have another, but I probably should not. I gotta bid you adieu to another. I will stay true. I will stay true. I will stay true. But I probably should not. I got somebody at home, and if I stay, I might not leave alone. No, honey, I'm good. I could have another, but I probably should not. I gotta bid you adieu to another. I will stay. No, honey, I'm good. I could have another, but I probably should not. I got somebody at home, and if I stay, I might not leave alone. No, honey, I'm good. I could have another, but I probably should not. I gotta bid you adieu to another. I will stay true. To sleep. I got the sheets on the floor, nothing on me, and I can't take it no more. It's 100 degrees. I got 1 foot out the door. Where are my keys? 'Cause I gotta leave, yeah. In the back of the cab, I took the drive ahead of time. Get me the fast. I got your body on my mind. I want it bad. Ooh, just the thought of you gets me so high. So high. Girl, you the one I want to want me. And if you want me, girl, you got me. There's nothing I know I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do just to get up next to you. Girl, you the one I want to want me. And if you want me, girl, you got me. There's nothing I know I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do just to get up next to you. Just to get up next to you. You open the door, wearing nothing but a smile, fell to the floor, and you whisper in my ear, baby, I'm yours. Ooh, just the thought of you gets me so high, so high, so high. Girl, you the one I want to want me. And if you want me, girl, you got me. There's nothing I know I wouldn't do. too late. Got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say. I go on too many dates.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from iNACOL, Chief Operating Officer Bruce Friend.
That's what people say.
Good morning, everyone. Wow. Holy smokes. What a great song. Whoever thought that Taylor Swift would be my opening act, right? All right, my kids are watching this right now. They're rolling their eyes. Trust me with that comment. Thank you so much for being here this morning. We're so pleased to have you. Welcome to the third day of our iNACOL Symposium, or as I guess in following up with our speaker yesterday morning, welcome to the third day of our Minga. And I hope that, yes, I hope you've enjoyed yourself so far and had wonderful opportunity to learn and share and network with others. We have a full lineup for you here this afternoon and this morning that we're so excited about. The real rock stars are going to be taking this stage shortly. And so we're so excited to have our group of students with us here this morning. Before we get started, I want to go ahead and acknowledge some of our sponsors, or all of our sponsors, that help make this event possible. They support our work. They support your work. And without their support, we would not be able to have such a wonderful event that we have here this week. Our diamond level sponsors are Acellus, the Science of Learning, Amazon Web Services, eDynamic Learning, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Reading Horizons, and the Walton Family Foundation. We'd also like to thank you to our Emerald sponsors. They include Apex Learning, Blackboard, Dell, Dreambox Learning, Edgenuity, Edmentum, Education Elements, FEV Tutor, Florida Virtual School, Genius, Global Personalized Academics, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, Middlebury Interactive Languages, New Schools Venture Fund, Office Depot and Office Max, Pearson, Rosetta Stone. And last but not least, we would also like to thank our Topaz sponsors, Accelerate Education, Canvas, Curriculum Associates, Edison Learning, Epiphany Learning, Fish Tree, Flip Switch, Fuel Education, It's Learning, Learning.com, Lincoln Learning, Maestro by Vocavox, Odysseyware, Proximity Learning, Redbird, StudyForge, Voyager Sopris, WizIQ, and Zia Learning. Please join me in giving our sponsors a round of applause for their support. Again this year, we're very pleased to present some awards to some innovative work that's happening in our field, an opportunity to honor those that are helping shape the types of schools that we want to see, the learning opportunities that we want to see, not just across the United States, but across the globe. A few of the awards that we're going to give out today recognize research, innovative practice, outstanding teaching, and service to iNACOL. We'd like to start with the iNACOL Research Award. This award recognizes outstanding research in the field of blended and online learning. The winner of this year's iNACOL Research Award is Dr. Nicola Wire from the University of Florida. Dr. Wire's study to address the needs for more information about what occurs in online portions of K-12 blended courses in regards to what kind of content, resources, and activities are utilized, how these resources were enacted with students, and how blended learning practices differ across content areas. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to say this work isn't possible without the administrators and the teachers and the students who are doing it, so thank to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next award is the Innovative Practice Award. This award recognizes a person or team whose work serves as a replicable model for others to follow. The winner of this year's Innovative Practice Award is Russell Burt of the Manakailini School Cluster, Point England School, Auckland, New Zealand. Since 2006, Russell Burt and his wife Dorothy have been serving the impoverished children in communities across New Zealand. The motto of the Point England School is learn, create, share, and it is visible everywhere you go when you visit their school. Students learn independently with personalized learning programming for reading and math. Every student engages in small group constructivist dialogue with their teacher, and teachers thread a social, emotional learning curriculum that is palpable in all interactions between students and teachers. Unfortunately, Russell and his team were not able to be with us here this afternoon, or this morning. Actually, I think if my math is correct, I think it's 2:15 or roughly in the morning Wednesday in New Zealand right now. And Russell and his team are watching, so congratulations, Russell, out there on the webcast. Russell did provide us a short acknowledgement that I would like to read. We are surprised and honored that our efforts are recognized by educators on the other side of the world. This is immensely rewarding for the members of our learning community. The iNACOL byline is Living Local, Learning Global. Today, iNACOL has affirmed that this is a present reality. Thank you for this recognition, which has encouraged our learning journey. Congratulations, Russell and team. The next award is for Outstanding Individual Contribution. This award honors an individual whose contributions to the field fosters innovative, high-quality learning opportunities for students. The winner of this year's Outstanding Individual Contribution Award is Allison Slack from the Ontario E-Learning Consortium. The consortium is a network of Ontario's district school boards collaborating to optimize success for students through e-learning opportunities, emerging technologies, and innovative practices. Allison's efforts have impacted the lives of over 100,000 students across the province, improving their access to high-quality online educational opportunities. Congratulations, Allison.
I'd just like to thank the Canadian E-Learning Network and the Ontario E-Learning Consortium for nominating me, and also to iNACOL for supporting e-learning in Ontario, Canada for more than 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you. The next award is for our Blended and Online Teacher of the Year Award. This award recognizes outstanding and excellence in the field of online and blended teaching. The winner of this year's award is Paula Barr from Quail Run School in Lawrence, Kansas. Now, unlike some of the other winners, we were looking at Paula's nomination. There's not words that I can say that would give due credit to this fantastic teacher. We thought we'd let some of her students share their words about Mrs. Barr.
We got the class list for me and Kyle. I got a 4th grade teacher, and Kyle, and Kyle got Mrs. Barr, and so we ran around the house screaming, and I might have kicked over a couple things, and then after that, I took him out for Orange Leaf. It's a frozen yogurt place to celebrate.
It was really fun that I got Mrs. Barr. The instant that I knew that I got Mrs. Barr, I knew I was going to have a great year.
She's just got that, one thing that is basically magical. She lets us work together, and we can collaborate basically anytime we need to. And she lets you work at your own pace.
She gives you confidence. She doesn't try to break you down. She tries to build you up.
Thank you. My audience is usually a little bit smaller and quite a bit younger, so I'm just a little terrified up here. I would like to thank Katie Gallagher from Blackboard for seeing in me the qualities befitting such an enormous recognition. And thank you, iNACOL, for recognizing the effort and passion in innovative teachers. Being an innovator is not easy. Oftentimes you're trying something for the first time. Sometimes you're making huge paradigm shift. You're failing in front of your students and colleagues and having to have the strength to persevere. You're having to fail with and stumble with grace and be determined in picking yourself back up and going back into that classroom after those mistakes. I'm lucky to work in a district, Lawrence Public Schools in Lawrence, Kansas, that under the leadership of our superintendent, Dr. Rick Dole, it really inspires innovation and pushes us outside of the status quo. I'm so lucky to have had wonderful mentors, the best of which is of whom is here with me today, Dr. Angelique Nedved, Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning in Lawrence Public Schools, who mentors through modeling grit and pushes us just a little bit out of our comfort zone, but gives us that support that we need. But the number one reason that I ride that earthquake of paradigm shifts is because of my students. My goal is to make school the kind of place that they can't wait to get to, and the kind of place that they groan at the end of the day when it's time to go home, to design their school day so that they are so engaged that we forget to go to recess and no one seems to care. I've been an educator for 34 years, and because of the transformation that I see in my classroom and in my students every single day because of blended learning, I am newly inspired, newly invigorated, and I am more proud of being an educator and doing what I do now than ever before, and I know that right now I'm the best teacher I've ever been. Thank you.
Congratulations. Mrs. Barr, I have to say, too, that in the Friend family, going to Orange Leaf is a great treat as well for celebration as well. So I can appreciate those students' comments. Our next award is for outstanding. It's an award, but it's also a well-deserved recognition. It's the iNACOL Innovator Award for Outstanding Board Service, going to Tom Vander Ark. One key to the success of iNACOL and our ability to assemble, inform, and support innovative educators and pioneers like yourself is the dedication and commitment of our board of directors. This year, we wish to honor Tom Vander Ark for his leadership, his guidance, and passion in helping guide our efforts. We want to thank Tom for his many years of service on the iNACOL board of directors. Our reach, our voice, the 3,100 people that attended this event this week are due to many of your contributions. So thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Bruce. Online and blended learning is how we'll offer every kid on planet Earth a great education, and that's within our reach. So let's put the I in iNACOL over the next 5 years. Thanks.
We'd like to really, I know you've been applauding a lot here this morning, and that's great, but we want to give one last thank you to our award winners, but also we'd like to recognize our nominees as well. It's not easy to select this group out of the dozens and dozens and dozens of award nominees we received, and the choices are not easy because there are so many great people doing great work out in our schools and changing the way education is delivered to our students. So join me again in thanking all of our winners and our nominees. Okay, students, are you ready? Come on up. This is the real fun part of this morning. What an honor for me to have an opportunity to facilitate this student panel. It's about the students. I've had a chance over the last couple of weeks, yesterday and this morning, to talk with these students, learn a little bit more about them, and I'm so impressed with the quality of the folks that we have here with us on our panel today. I'll let them introduce themselves here shortly. The students before you here this morning represent a variety of school types: blended schools, competency-based schools, full-time virtual schools, supplemental virtual schools, and schools that focus on personalized learning. But I need to pause a second. When I long time ago, it was called the 70s, maybe even the early 80s, there was this show called 8 is Enough. Anyone remember that show? Yeah, see, that tells you, you can't really even see these folks out here, can you? But there's a lot of hands went up. 8's not enough. Where's Anthony at? Anthony, come join us here. We'll add a ninth. How's that? So Anthony did a little taping with us yesterday. He did such a great job. We wanted to invite him back up. Thank you, Anthony, for coming up. Aside from the variety of schools that these students represent, they also represent something else, our future. On this stage, and I don't know the order, so forgive me here, but we have an ophthalmologist. We have a future pediatric nurse. We have a future mechanical engineer. We have a couple of students who indicated that after school they plan to serve their country in the military. We have a future Harvard graduate. Actually, I think it was a future University of Georgia graduate, then to Harvard, who's going to become a district attorney. They're very specific about what their goals are. And we also have a future math teacher from the University of Kentucky, correct? And who also plans to teach math at the school she attends today. So the pressure, guys, is really not on us today. I know the spotlights are shining in your eyes right now. And there's a few people out there. Don't get overwhelmed by it. But the truth is the pressure's not on us. Like, this is the easy part. You have the fun part. The pressure's on all these people out here. Because it's their job to make sure that your dreams of being an ophthalmologist, a math teacher, a district attorney, it's their job to help pave the way to make that a reality for you. So they're really, really interested in what you have to say about what your current experiences, what you love, what you don't like. There's no wrong answers here. If some of your teachers or principals are in the audience, you can still say, I don't like this, I wish they would do this. They won't hold anything against you when you get back to school, and if you do, you email me. We'll follow up with them on that. So I really, before we go into the questions with the students too, one last comment, I guess, from yesterday morning, our keynote yesterday morning, Craig Kilberger asked the audience who the most powerful people in the world are, and the answer was teachers. With all due respect to our keynote yesterday, I think that's only half the answer. The other most powerful people in the world are people like this sitting on our stage today, so let's give them a... All right, you guys ready? Ready to have some fun? All right, super. All right, first question, really what I just like, it's not really a question. What I'd like you to do, if you could, is maybe just go down the line, introduce yourself, speak loud and clear, your name, your home, the school you attend, and maybe what grade that you're in.
My name's Anthony Johnson. I'm in 10th grade at Impact Academy. Impact Academy is a virtual school program for students in grades 6 through 12 out of Henry County, Georgia. We serve students all over our district. We have close to 700 students enrolled in our program, and it's not a traditional homeschool. It's a enriched virtual school program, so it's for students who the traditional school setting does not work for them, but we have the option to take our classes online in an enriched environment, and we also get face-to-face instruction. I'm in 10th grade at that program. My name is Anthony Johnson. Thank you.
Hi, I'm McKenna Massey. I'm in 8th grade, and I attend Impact Academy.
Hi, I'm William Mason, and I am a 7th grader attending Impact Academy in Henry County, Georgia.
Hi, I'm Haley Massey, and I attend Impact Academy.
Hi, I'm Elise Boltadano, and I'm in Florida Virtual School full-time.
I'm Brooke Berry, a 7th grader at Eminence Independent Schools.
Good morning, I'm Michaela Brown. I attend R.B. Stoll High School in Charleston, South Carolina.
Hi, I'm Javier Gonzalez. I attend R.B. Stoll High School, and I am a sophomore.
Hi, I'm Zachary Gerby. I attend Edgewood Junior Senior High School, and I am also a sophomore.
Okay, and Zach, since you have the microphone, maybe I'll start with you if that's okay. Zach, you also take courses in addition to your traditional brick and mortar experience. You're taking courses online, I believe, with Florida Virtual School. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you share with us why are you taking courses online over and above, or in addition to your traditional courses? How is that fitting into your academic or maybe your personal schedule? What was the impetus for doing that?
I tried to take auxiliary courses online because I wanted to be able to free up time during the day when I could take more music classes and more creative-based electives. So I would be able to further my personal goals of pursuing music.
Thank you. To any of the students, if you'd be so kind, what attracted you to the school that you're attending now? I know many of you, this is not the first blended competency-based online school that you may have attended. What attracted you to the school that you're attending?
My parents thought that this would be the best education for me, so they decided to bring me to the school here.
Okay. Anyone else?
I live in the school district, and my dad is the superintendent. And it's also a really good school once you're there.
So you didn't really feel you could tell them no? Yeah. I'd rather go to this other superintendent's school, correct? Yeah, thank you very much, Dad. Anybody else have what attracted you? Anthony?
For me personally, we were looking for another option. I'm diagnosed with chronic migraine, so I get headaches on a regular basis. So I was missing a lot of school with asthma and allergy. I was missing a lot of school. So we took advantage of this opportunity that was new to Henry County, and Impact Academy came up. So the blended and enriched environment was really suited better towards me than a traditional school setting would be.
Excellent, thank you. Maybe Micaiah or Haley or William, talk to us a little bit about, you're at Impact Academy, and you have a sort of an untraditional school week. It's a flex model type of blended learning school, correct? Where you may not necessarily go every single day. Can you share with us a little bit about what's your school week look like? Maybe a couple of you take time to answer that question.
So our school week is basically, we go to school 2 days a week, and ours is called Study Cafe. So middle school goes in Tuesdays and Thursdays, and high school goes in Mondays and Wednesdays, and we all stay home on Fridays. And that's a personal invite-only day. So when I go to school 2 days a week, I will just sit and work with my teachers, meet up, face-to-face time, and still have social interaction with everyone. And then when I stay home, I'm able to get a lot of work done and just make it the way I want to work.
William, anything to add to that?
I do the same thing, but the 2 days that I am not at school, I can also work on my coursework. But I usually use some of the days for school to work on my guided learning projects with my teachers and my peers.
McKenna, anything to add, or they nailed it? Okay, so McKenna, I'll ask you, since you're at the same school. So I hear you have sort of flexibility in even what days you actually go to physical school, and then you're doing your work from home as well. Any of your friends ever expressed that they're a little bit jealous that you're only going to, from their perspective, you're only going to school 2 days a week when we know you're working every day? What do your friends have to say about that?
Well, I normally don't talk to my friends a lot since I am working, but when I do, I get to hang. When I do get to hang out with my friends, we recently visited the National Archives, and one of my friends, she was doing a National History Day project, and she really wanted to come. So she was kind of jealous because we were able to go on a school day, but we still ended up taking her anyways.
Yeah, so you invited her on that day. On that day you talked to her, correct? Yeah. So, Javier, maybe share a little bit about your school. It's a personalized school. What does personalized learning mean to you?
Well, personalized learning for me, I actually really, really like it. It's because you're on your own pace. You can work at your own pace. In a traditional classroom, everybody's on just in rows, the way they're sitting and everything. And so in a personalized learning classroom or environment, there's sections where there's one, sometimes you could sit on the back and there's couches and you can relax, you could do your tests and everything like that. And then we have this desk where it's all whiteboard, so you could work on it and you can write on it and everything. So I actually personally like it.
Okay. Michaela, would you add anything to that? What do you like most about this particular school compared to other schools that you've been a part of?
For my school, personalized learning, it's basically all about working at your own pace. I like to work fast and ahead of everyone else, while there might be some people that needs a little extra help. I like doing my work by myself and being able to take it home and watch my notes, do extra practice if needed. And it's not all mandatory. It's you have to take the guided notes, but with a pretest that we do, if you know the material and you test out, you don't have to do a certain standard if you already know the material.
Brooke, tell us a little bit about the school that you're attending, because it has an interesting, unique model as well.
Yeah, we're blended, so we know the content. It's on Haiku, our learning management system. So we get to know what we're going to be learning, but we don't know what we're going to be learning. And my class think that's really great because it's always a surprise, and we never know what to expect. So it fits us because there's typically 2 ways we want to learn it during the class. So there's never one specific way we have to do everything.
How do you, anyone on the panel, how do you find your interaction with the teachers in your school site, whether it's personalized, blended, fully online? Talk to us a little bit about how you interact with your teachers.
I interact with my teachers through monthly calls and through live lessons, which are where you go to this session and you listen to like math and reading stuff that they give you. And then you learn what you have to do and what you have to learn.
Anybody else? How do you interact with your teachers? Is it any different than maybe a traditional school, perhaps?
Well, we go in 2 days a week for face-to-face with your teachers, and it's not mandatory that you come, but you can if you want or get extra help. And then we can call or text our teachers anytime. We can email them. We have webinars that are set up, and we can go in there and do a lesson or 2 with our teachers by ourselves or getting work taken out. And
excellent. McKenna, did you want to say something there? No? Okay. All right. Very good. And also, we are going to field questions from the audience as well. If you have a question that you would like me to ask the students, or maybe a question you would like the students to ask of each other, just go to hashtag iNACOL15. We have someone kind of collecting those. They can kind of sneak me a question or 2 up here if there's a specific question you would like to have answered as well. So, Zachary, I'd like to come back to you a second. So you're taking supplemental courses online. What did you find when you first started taking courses online? Maybe what was the biggest surprise? What was something that you didn't expect, whether good or bad, perhaps?
The biggest surprise was probably that you have to be mostly self-motivated instead of motivated by extrinsic things like deadlines or grades or report cards. So you have to make yourself work at your own pace and not have someone else kind of push you along. And that's a big change from just traditional public schools.
Do you feel that you have, even though the course is online, do you still have quite a bit of communication that you feel like you know your online teacher?
Yeah, you have to talk to them all the time to finish the course, and once a month at least, just to keep up with your contacts. So you definitely get to know your teacher.
Excellent. Whether it's a blended environment or an online environment, would anyone like to share any courses that you felt were maybe more challenging than others to take, either blended or online, or some that you felt came much more natural for you?
For me, it was different for any of my math courses because I'm used to like having an instructor in front of me when I take my math classes. That was something that I couldn't often find easier to do in a blended online learning environment just because I do need that instruction. So that's when I use my time at Support Cafe to go on campus to get instruction from my math teachers, just because with math I learn better when somebody's teaching it to me rather than watching it on a video. So,
Elise?
With language arts, I think that's kind of hard for me, but science is actually easy because I just have to learn the material and then just make sure I know it and take the quiz or something like that.
Are any of you, or the other term that we often use beside personalized is sort of a competency-based? If sometimes that's a term that those of us in the adult world use, but what does that term mean for any of you if you hear the word competency-based? Or you don't know what the term means, which is okay too.
For me, it's being able to work at my own pace and not be rushed by the class or the teacher, and working in a positive environment where I feel comfortable enough to go and ask a friend or a teacher how to do this or to get help.
Okay. Anyone else have any comments?
To me, it means not just to learn the content, but also to learn how to learn, and not just learning the material.
So focus. progressing whenever you're ready to learn. Yes. Yeah. I think you have a lot of people who might agree with you on that, William. Yeah. William, do you think we should even have such things as grade levels?
I don't really know. I mean, I don't think we should.
You don't? Yeah, we should be progressing whenever you're ready. So when you're ready to demonstrate you understand algebra, you're ready, and it doesn't really matter what age or grade level you're in. Yeah, thank you. Interaction with your friends who, or I'm sorry, not with your friends, with your fellow students. Maybe Elise, since you're in a full-time program, and Zach, do you find yourself interacting a lot with the other students who are online, and how's that interaction take place?
We interact with each other through live lessons, and we sometimes chat so that we can know what each other's doing, and it's actually fun knowing what they do and what we're doing.
Okay. Zach, you want to take a question?
You definitely interact with other students, especially on collaboration assignments where you actually have to work with a group to get the assignment done. And so you can get to know other people in the program, but it's still not as much as a brick and mortar school. But that can also be a good thing if you don't necessarily like who you're working with.
Yeah, so there could be some interactions you perhaps are avoiding, which might be all the better. Javier Mackay, what would you say you like most? You talked a little bit about the personal learning model. What do you like? The first question I have you, what do you like most about your school compared to schools that perhaps some of your friends go to?
The thing I like most about my school, it's personalized learning, and plus I play sports in our soccer department inside Charleston County. Our school, it's better than all of them, so.
Yeah.
But I prefer my school over other schools is because you can, in other schools in Charleston County, like I said, it's not a personalized learning school. So I can move at my own pace, and I can help my peers and everything. And so I like being friendly. I like helping other kids that are struggling, yeah.
How would you answer that question? Or maybe the opposite of it. Is there anything about your school that you would like to improve, or maybe they should do differently? Either one of you could answer, yeah.
I feel like I would like to integrate personalized learning more into the schools throughout all the classes, because right now I'm only experiencing it through my math class.
Kai, anything to add to that? Or?
For me, I am a cheerleader still, I would say, and that's having personal mastery. I can take my notes home and sometimes even stay after school with my teacher to get the extra help I need while I'm in practice, because practice lasts at least 3 hours. So that takes a lot of my homework time. So being able to stay after school and basically do it on my time instead of the teachers. And one thing I would change would be to get personal mastery in every class, like Javier said.
Brooke, you're at a blended learning school. Share with us a little bit about your typical school day, if you would, or a typical classroom.
Well, half of it is more traditional and the other half is online. So we do a lot of different activities throughout the day. So in one period we could be doing an online class type of thing, and the next minute be dropping a watermelon and egg off the ceiling. So it's very different than most schools.
Most schools. Your school's a one-to-one school, correct? Do students actually get to take the devices home with them as well, or do they keep them at?
I believe 3rd grade and up gets to take it home.
3rd grade and up, okay. A question for any of the students. I mean, all of the schools, while some of your schools are different, have a little bit different flavor to them, whether full-time or part-time online or blended or personalized. You know, one of the things that makes that possible is the use of technology. So a question I have for you, do you ever tire of using technology? I mean, do you ever just sort of get burnt out on it and just want to do a traditional, I want to go to a traditional classroom type of environment, or is technology something that is just, you'll never get tired of utilizing it?
I don't really get tired of using it, and I think that if I ever do, my teachers would be very flexible with it and would be willing to teach me all traditional for that day if that's what I wanted.
Well, for me, I feel like I wouldn't get tired of using technology is because I lose papers often. And so, like, I'm thinking that we have an iPad. So we have our textbooks and we have our work that we could do on there. And I feel like that's way easier. Plus, it's a less heavy book bag.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Haley, go ahead.
Honestly, yeah, I do get tired sometimes, and that's where our flexibility comes in, where my teacher will sit down and have a face-to-face with me and teach the lesson that sometimes it didn't come across enough to me that I need more help with a lesson, and that's what I...
I don't really get tired of the use of technology, but if we want to expand to show mastery of a standard than our base LMS, then we have the flexibility to do a project to create or to show mastery through project-based learning. So I wouldn't say I get tired of using technology, but if we do want to branch off from just our traditional LMS, then we can, and we have the opportunity to do so to show mastery in a project.
Excellent. Go ahead, William. I'm
I would
sorry.
like to add something also.
Please do.
I don't ever really get tired of technology because, again, we can do projects and we can do some traditional school environment teaching, but the technology allows me to be in an even playing field with my peers, where at a traditional school, I would not.
Right. Thank you for sharing. We'll start with the impact students, and then we'll work our way down. So you're in a blended learning school. How does grading work in that particular school? This is one of those questions that they want their teachers, if you could please leave the room at this time. Thank you very much. Is it more on a competency-based approach? Do you have the opportunity to redo your work if it wasn't satisfactory the first time? Do your teachers allow that? Do you still have sort of those standardized, we're going to take hopefully they don't give you pop quizzes still today, right? But do they give you those type of traditional assessments?
We will use quizzes through our learning platform, but if we work through the quiz or the test and do not like our grade, we can also sit down face-to-face with our teacher and work out some of the problems to bring our grade up or get a hold of what the information is.
Excellent. Do you feel you get a great deal of individual time with your teacher in the blended environment?
I do, because the teacher can sit down face-to-face and help me individually and personalize my learning.
Anthony, you were going to say something.
And even if a student can't really go to get that intention face-to-face, the teachers are really good with being flexible for the student. For example, they'll do a one-on-one webinar with you, so the students can log on from home and see the teacher, and they could do face-to-face instruction via a webinar. You can call them, text them, so it's very flexible because we do have the opportunity to see them and talk with them on a regular basis.
Brooke, wanted to add something. How is grading done in your classroom?
Well, we have standard-based grading, so we get basically our grades back right away if it's on the computer, and if it's not, then it just takes a day or two. So, and we get to make it up if we mess up or don't get the grade we wanted, we can make it up until we get what we want.
Micaiah, Javier, how about at your school? How is grading handled in a personalized learning school?
At my school, grading is done by showing by emerging, near mastery, mastery, exceeds mastery, and basically that was put in place to, instead of saying, oh, you failed, or oh, you A+, so it wouldn't really make us feel down about ourselves, but emerging is you can do it with help. Near mastery is you can do it with someone sitting next to you, but not a lot of input on it. Mastery is you can do it by yourself with no help, and exceeds mastery is you can do it by yourself and you can go back and teach somebody else.
Okay. Javier, anything to add to that?
Well, she kind of said what I was going to say, but like another thing is grading, like what she was saying, like exceed mastery and everything, they're trying to take the numbers away. So most students will say, oh, I got a 70, or I got a D. Then they'll say, oh, so I don't have to do it anymore. The kids in our school, they strive to have it exceeds mastery.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, thank you. Zach, you want to respond to that in terms of your online course? Maybe is it also sort of a mastery approach in terms of students giving you the opportunity to redo work, or is it more of a competency-based approach in terms of not moving along to the next assignment until they know you've mastered the one before it?
You have the option always of moving forward in the course, but you can almost always go back and redo assignments if you want to up your grade. Mm-hmm. And it still uses the traditional A, B, C, D, F grading scale. So you can progress through the course and you can finish the course, but you have to go back and redo assignments and redo lessons that you maybe didn't get the first time.
So when we were doing interviews before today's panel, many of you shared with me what you wanted to be, and I shared that, whether it be a doctor, a nurse, a math teacher, joining the military. The work you're involved with today, the learning experience that you're involved in today at your schools, how do you feel that's preparing you for your future, whether that's high school or for some of you, then maybe the next level of career or college? How's this preparing you for that, do you believe?
I would say it's preparing us because in a traditional school setting, there were some students who were just trying to get by, just going from day to day. But in an environment like this, it's really all on the student. The professionalism, the way they carry themselves, and the way they get their work done, it's all on them. So I would say that's preparing me for the future because in the workplace and in career and after high school, it's going to be up to the student to get the task done. And I feel like that this blended and online learning environment is preparing me for that because I'm taking responsibility of my education more so than I have in a traditional environment.
Okay. Anyone else? Makai?
In a personalized learning environment, it's preparing us because it teaches us time management. We know how to manage our time instead of spending too much time on one thing, and learning how to work with others that you really wouldn't talk to outside of class, like being friends with any and everybody. And it teaches us responsibility because we have to be responsible for our own work. There's not going to be anybody holding our hands anymore, telling us, okay, you need to go do this. It's all based on what you do and what you accomplish yourself.
Okay.
I would like to say that it's teaching me because it's teaching me to learn throughout my life, and also to pace myself and to just learn throughout my life and not just right now.
Zach, you're studying music, correct? You're a skilled musician. How's the opportunity to take courses online nurturing that passion that you have?
It gives me more time to take the music courses that I want to take in school. So let's say I started virtual school by taking world history online, I think, yeah. And that let me take a band class and an orchestra class. And then this year I'm taking a chemistry course online so I can take a jazz band and an orchestra class. It's just to free up time so I can pursue music outside of needing to take lessons or get a private instructor outside of school.
Okay, thank you. Before you stepped up, we had the opportunity to recognize an outstanding educator, Mrs. Barr from Kansas. What makes for a great teacher? Think of a teacher who's inspired you. What made them different than other teachers that perhaps you've had?
I would say a lot of the teachers at our program are very unique because they do make the effort to build a relationship with their students. That in a traditional school setting, you don't typically see that, but our teachers at Impact Academy, some of them teach more than one grade level or more than one class. So they're able to build that relationship with the student, but they're still communicating after that 1 year. So I think that's a very key component of what makes our program so unique is that the teachers actually make that effort to build a relationship with their students.
McKenna?
As you said, the teachers build relationships with their students, and when I did traditional middle school in 6th grade, I was always the good kid, so I was normally sit by the distracting kids. So the teacher never really thought, that's how normally she looked at me because there was a distracting kid sitting next to me. But here the teachers really connect with you and try to find something that relates to you, and that way you can even work better together. So
Thank you. As a former teacher myself, McKenna, we put the good kids next to the distracting kids, so hopefully that you would rub off on them. But, so that's actually a compliment for your teachers that we're doing that. Elise, how would you answer that question? All of your teachers are fully online. I know you have support at home too with your mom and dad. But what in your mind, what makes for a great teacher? And it doesn't matter whether online or in a face-to-face environment.
Well, my teachers, they make you like, they give you courage to work hard enough so that you can get all your work done, and they're like cheerleaders to us because they encourage us.
Cheerleaders encourage you, yeah. As the one student said on the video, they build you up, they don't break you down, huh? Brooke, how would you answer that question?
Well, they just they have fun in their classroom. They make everything that they do fun, even if it can be boring. How other teachers may look at it, it's just a worksheet, but it can be really fun if you can make it fun.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share? What do you think makes for a great teacher?
I think that a lot of public school teachers still do interact with students closely, like in my personal experience. And so I guess I think I'm the only one with the unpopular opinion of liking public school teachers, but
we told you to be honest.
But most of my teachers will make the effort to connect with their students, whether it's letting the students get to know them more, or just meeting with students individually if they're having problems of some kind. And so, like, the minimum required from the district is usually much less than what teachers actually give.
Are any of you involved in, with your virtual experience or blended experience, collaborating with others outside of your school, and not just your friends, but working in your local community or working on interacting with students maybe from across the globe in any of your blended or online experiences?
So at our school we do guided learning projects where the students or a student will work with their teacher and meet up with them periodically. But the students also cannot just do it all in the school environment. They have to do it outside of school. So yes, we do work outside of the school so that we can have more time to do it, but it allows us to work on our coursework also.
Great, thank you. How many of you would just now be on, forget those teachers in the audience, okay. How many of you would say that you come to school probably more technology savvy than they are? Anyone want to like raise their hand? I got one guy down here. I got a little bit over here like that. Yeah, you think that's true? What do you think your teacher? So this is a new experience. I mean, this is a new type of school for many of you. I know Lisa's been with the full-time program in her entire educational career. But many of you were also at other schools. You're now at this school. What do you see your teachers doing different? Because this is new to them too. Most of the folks that are in this audience today were not trained to be a blended learning or competency-based or personalized learning teacher. This is just not how often that they were prepared when they were trying to be or becoming trained as teachers. What do you see your teachers doing that they can become better at what they do in helping you? Or nothing.
Well, when we first got, when Ms. Leach and Ms. Lester, or my math teachers, when they first found out that they were going to be demo teachers, it was like a whole new thing for them. And it was a whole new thing for us. So it was actually kind of cool because they were learning it too. So the integration, it was, it was a little harsh. But over time, it got a lot better. And so you got to know your teacher more, and I actually liked it. I liked the integration.
And they were open and honest with you about it, that you were in this journey together, basically? Okay, excellent. So this is also not just the types of schools that you're attending are not just different than maybe what your teachers were accustomed to before they joined your school, but I would suggest that these types of schools too are different than the types of schools that your parents went to as well. Would you probably agree with that? Do your parents ever talk to you about about that, and how is your learning experience so different than what they had when they went to school? I mean, they're also probably telling you that they walked uphill both ways in snows to get to school and all of that. But how is your experience, do you think, different than what your parents have experienced?
For my parents, in a traditional classroom, which she attended a school close to mine that I go to today, they didn't really care about the student's grade. They was just like, okay, you received that grade, that's it. You can't do nothing to make it up. So with having the personalized learning experience, the teacher actually makes sure that you earn the grade that you're supposed to have. Like, they allow you to redo if you need to, sit down and actually work with you to see where you're making your mistakes. And before, it was like, oh, that's your grade, that's it, you're not about to fix it.
McKenna?
Well, while being in this conference, it is a learning experience. And while we've been here, my mom has said, I have never in my entire life been to a conference like this. And in your short life, you have. And you've been to more than I have.
Well, maybe this will be just the first of many, and you'll have those great experiences. Yeah, definitely, yeah. William, how would you answer that question? How do you think this is different? How is Impact Academy maybe different than the types of school that you think your parents attended or the type of learning they received?
Again, Impact Academy puts me on a level playing field, and that allows me to be a better learner because I feel that I'm not missing out on anything because it's my learning and I take control of it.
Okay. Elise, a question for you in the full-time online learning. What advice would you give to a student who's thinking about enrolling in a full-time virtual school based on your experience? What type of advice would you give them in terms of what they will maybe like or maybe what they need to look out for?
I would say that learning in this school that I go to is fun, and that even though you have hard times with some things, that you'll do it great, and that the things you might want to look out for are like portfolios that you have to complete, and to make sure you have them all the things in the rubrics good, so that you don't get a bad grade.
Okay, Zach, how would you answer that question in the supplemental environment? What would you advise a friend if they were going to say, I want to take world history online like you did? What advice would you give them on how they could best be successful?
I would probably tell them to make sure that they don't just put it on the back burner, because then you find yourself having to catch up. Like putting normal school, like brick and mortar school, ahead of it can actually be detrimental, because then you forget about it, you don't treat it like an actual class. So just make sure to take it as seriously as you would if you were taking it in a traditional school.
Okay. Thank you, and I'm hoping that my teenage daughter is listening to this as well, who's also taking it. Jessica, listen to Zach, please. How about at Impact Academy? What advice would you give the students who are just coming into Impact, and how this experience might be different?
I think coming to Impact, you definitely need to be a student who pushes themselves or has family support who pushes you and helps you. And definitely, it doesn't work for everybody, but it's definitely a good experience to try out to see if it does work for you.
Anthony?
I'd say the biggest misconception that we get is that we're homeschooled, it's easier for us. And whenever we have some people in our county, like at our schools, are like, oh, you do impact, you're homeschooled. That's not the case. I would say the biggest thing is that we work harder. It's not easier, but it's definitely up to the student to make sure they're taking the responsibility and the initiative to get their work done. Because this environment isn't for everybody, not in a traditional or a blended. So sometimes they need to take into consideration the seriousness or the professionalism that they need to get their work done, because it is not for everybody, but they do have to do what's right for them as far as what path they want to go down. So I think that's the biggest misconception we get, is that it's easier when it's not easier.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Looking forward, 10 years, 20 years, what do you think schools will look like?
I think they'll have better technology and like audio books that you can listen to instead of reading the lesson, and you'll have interactive and fun workbooks that you can do that are online, and also you'll have lessons that are like video games that you do, but it's like that is fun, but you're still learning the material and getting your work done.
Thank you. Brooke, you want to take a stab at that question as well?
I think that there will be a lot more online learning than there is now, but still some of the more traditional ways, because it's always like easier to have two different ways to learn it if one doesn't make sense.
One size doesn't fit all, correct, yeah. We also didn't introduce another guest on the stage here. I was remiss in not doing so. We have Kaya back here. I don't know if the camera says see it. Kaya's asleep, I think, or at least she's resting. Does she do this, William, when you're at school as well?
She does. We have some bean bags in the trailer, and she likes to lay on them.
Yeah.
And yes.
If I were to ask Kaya what does he like the most about Impact Academy, what would the answer be?
The environment.
The environment.
The comfortable and personalized environment.
I suspect Kaya's used to competency-based learning too, because if he does something right, he gets a treat, huh?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
There you go. Well, we're wrapping up on our time here. Yeah, yes, she woke up, heard that. Treat, that was the magic word. I think I might have to get off the stage. Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
So I really appreciate all of the work that our teachers in our district has made to make this program available for us. And I really appreciate all that everybody in this room is doing to make this possible, because as you see, this is all working out very well for us. And I do believe that this is something that needs to be the future of education, and that it's good that we're making this transition now, because eventually this is how education is going to be, in a personalized learning environment. So I just really appreciate all the work that all you guys are doing to make this transformation in your district or in your school or in your state, and it really works for us. So I just want to thank you all for doing that.
Thank you. I think it's worth noting that was not scripted. That was from the heart. Seriously, thank you so much for that. We do need to wrap up here shortly. This is your time. You've got 3,000 people. I'm giving you the number now. I don't want to scare you at the front. You got about 3,100 people out here in the audience that are truly, truly interested in helping you fulfill those dreams. What would you have to share with them? How can they best help you do that?
I would like to say that you all in the audience are setting the pace for the schools in the future. And that is the biggest thing happening right now.
Anybody else?
I would say thank you for giving me the best education.
Thank you. All right, I think that concludes our session this afternoon. A couple of, before I ask the students to go off the stage here, for the award winners earlier, we are going to do some pictures. We're going to do some pictures with students as well. So if the award winners, if you kind of stick around the front, we'd like you to come back. Before we depart today, I hope that everyone has a great day of learning, again, sharing, networking. We've got a great keynote speaker coming at lunch today. And we hope that the words of our students continue to inspire you because your words inspired them as well. Let's give these folks a round of applause. They're awesome. You guys can go, yeah. Or we can stay here till lunch. Which one do you want to do? Yes. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
We might not know why, we might not